The world's most wanted Muslim terrorist, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, is dead. Pursued, killed by American forces. Well, he killed himself, but we're going to give you a lot of details on today's program. Plus, we're going to look at the headline that the Washington Post used and look for truth in it. This is going to be really interesting. I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance. He died like a dog. Thus said President Trump in his statement to the press on Sunday morning. You can look online in case you missed the news. There's a lot there. There's some interesting elements to this that I would like to focus on. And then we're going to look at the Washington Post. And later in the broadcast, we'll have a little bit of fun regarding President Trump's trip to the Chicago area, where he spoke to policemen and ridiculed the chief of police, the commissioner of police for the Chicago area. But let's focus on al-Baghdadi. What I want to do is start right off with the Washington Post headline so that we can use it to prove that it was correct. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, austere religious scholar at helm of Islamic State, dies at 48. Now, first of all, you have the obvious. This is offensive. And the Washington Post ultimately apologized, but that was only after even left-wing media bludgeoned them for this headline. But think about it. Let's go to the comedic side. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, austere religious scholar, at the helm of the Islamic State. Wait a minute, is that a country? What is that? That sounds legitimate. Dies at 48. If you were from another planet, or you were from a nation that did not know anything about what was in the news, you would think that maybe this was some important guy, an important man, a religious scholar. He was at the helm of a state, and he died. Sadly, he died at age 48 due to complications from a suicide vest going off while he ran away from American forces because he was the world's most wanted terrorist. This is so bad. Why? Why did they do this? Because they hate President Trump. The headline could have said, President Trump orders capture, which leads to death of world's most wanted terrorist. President Trump's policy to destroy Islamic State has another great step forward with the death of Abu Bakr. There's so many ways they could have said it that would have been the truth, would have accurately described what happened, but it would have given credit to President Trump. And that is something that the Washington Post is committed to not do. This shows a level of dishonesty that we've grown accustomed to, but it also shows a level of malice, malevolence. A sick, twisted group of people at the Washington Post, which is the second most important newspaper in this nation and one of the most important newspapers in the world. They are so sick and twisted in their hatred of President Trump that they can't even tell the truth about President Trump and his policies when it comes to the death of the most wanted Islamic terrorist in the world. What that should do for a lot of people is give them pause. Make them think for just a moment. Wait a minute. If the Washington Post's headline and coverage of the death of a Muslim terrorist is so perverse, what else are they telling me that's a little off? Let's just call this a little off. What else are they telling me about Schiff and the impeachment inquiry and Russian collusion that's just a little off? Or what other headlines are they giving us and stories are they feeding us that have this same level of dishonesty and malice and malevolence. But interesting. Oh, so here, on the comedic side, you could say Adolf Hitler, Austrian painter, dead at 56. Why not? He was a painter. He was from Austria and he died at 56. Why not say that? Mao Zedong, peasant who rose to the pinnacles of power, dead at whatever it was, 72 or something. Why not? Why not rewrite the obituary of every villain, every tyrant, every mass murderer who ever existed to reflect what the Washington Post did with al-Baghdadi? It's offensive. It's absurd. It's evil. So anyway, I've got to take a break. When we come back, what I want to do is use this headline to show you something. Ready? The Washington Post was spot on. I'll be right back. Introducing Roxy Guitar. If you're a guitar or bass player, whether you play acoustic or electric, check out Roxy Guitar. I've been playing for over 40 years and seen guitar stores all over America. I've never seen a store like Roxy Guitar. Roxy Guitar has over 700 guitars in stock, over 1,500 pedals, over 200 amps. For the beginner or price-conscious buyer, there's Michael Kelly guitars. For the serious player or professional, Roxy Guitar has the finest selection of guitar lines I've ever seen. You know I love Warrior guitars. Roxy Guitar has over 100 Warriors in stock. They have Heritage, G&L, Gretsch, John Sears, BC Rich, Duesenberg, Dean, legendary guitars at great prices, including pre-owned Gibsons, Fenders, and more. Let them know you heard about Roxy Guitar from Randall Terry and receive 10% or more off your purchase on select items. Go to roxyguitar.com. Joseph Stalin, political leader, former student for the Orthodox priesthood, dead at age 74. He will be missed by his fellow students. Now, that's what it was like. I mean, that's what it would have been like if the Washington Post had written the headline about his death. Never mind the fact that he probably killed 30 million of his own people. He was a brutal. Joseph Stalin was way more evil on many levels than Adolf Hitler. You need to remember that. We worked with the devil to defeat Nazi Germany. And Patton had it right. He said, let's go after Stalin. We know that we're going to end up fighting them. But I digress. The headline that he was an austere religious scholar. Put that headline up there one more time because it's so much fun. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, austere religious scholar at helm of Islamic State, dies at 48. Let's break that down. He named himself Abu Bakr. Did you know that? Now, there's a lot of names in the Muslim world. The most common is Muhammad, the founder of Islam. He didn't choose Muhammad. He chose the name Abu Bakr. Why? I'll tell you why. Ready? He was a scholar. He really was a scholar. And he was a murderer. He was a demonic evildoer, a demonic bastard of the highest degree. Excuse my clarity. But he was a scholar. And he picked the name Abu Bakr. Can you tell me why? Anyone here? Anyone? Ready? I'm going to tell you. Abu Bakr was the first caliph, that means successor, after Muhammad died. All right? After Muhammad died, he was succeeded by Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and then Ali, his son-in-law. So Abu Bakr had what were called the wars of apostasy, or the apostasy wars. See, after Muhammad died, the entire Arabian Peninsula said, okay, he's gone, we're done with that. They came into Islam by force. Muhammad, either through direct killings or the threat of death, converted the entire Arabian Peninsula through force and terror. He said so over and over. When he died, the whole peninsula said, well, he's gone, that's the end of that. Abu Bakr said no. And he said, Muhammad brought you in by force. I'll bring you back by force. You have one chance to repent and to embrace Islam again, or I'm going to kill you. And the apostasy wars were brutal. And he was as good as his word. Killed thousands and thousands of people, but brought the Arabian Peninsula back to Islam. They said no. He said, no, you made a promise to serve Allah and to abide by Islamic law, and you're going to keep it. So there are people that credit Abu Bakr with having saved Islam. He was the first successor, the first caliph. Now, with the breakup of the Ottoman Empire, and then a man named Kemal Ataturk, he abolished the caliphate in 1924. 4 years later, 1928, the Muslim Brotherhood was born to reestablish the caliphate. In the Muslim mind, having a Muslim world without a caliph would be similar, comparable to, in the Catholic mind, having the Catholic Church without a pope. It's inconceivable. So there has been a push since 1924, going on 100 years now, or rather 1928, to get the caliph back. Okay? Abu Bakr, al-Baghdadi, knew that the original Abu Bakr fought the apostasy wars to keep Islam going. And so he said, that'll be me. I'll be the guy who uses force to reestablish Islam and to reestablish the successor, the caliph, the khalifa, the caliphate. He did it because, in fact, he was a scholar. Now, there's more to it that we need to look at. How did his studies of Islam, and most importantly of Muhammad and his life and Islamic Sharia law, lead him to his brutal dictates? I'll tell you when we come back. Don't go away. The scholar, Abu Bakr, is dead.
I also want to speak tonight directly to Muslims throughout the world. We respect your faith. Its teachings are good and peaceful. And those who commit evil in the name of Allah blaspheme the name of Allah.
We have reaffirmed again and again that the United States is not and never will be at war with Islam. Islam teaches peace.
Islam is a religion of peace. They are not Muslims, they are monsters.
We've been told that Muslim terrorists have hijacked the peaceful religion of Islam. But Islamic art and literature tell a very different story. To know the truth, we only have to study the narrative of the founder of Islam, Muhammad, in his own words. It is with great sadness that we announce, as the Washington Post has, that an austere religious scholar has died at age 48. Now, Joseph Stalin also was a scholar, studied orthodoxy. Abu Bakr studied the life of Muhammad. He studied Islamic law, which is based on the life of Muhammad, the words and deeds of Muhammad that are not even in the Quran. Okay? The books you see behind me, al-Tabari. These references, these records, Sahih Muslim, Sahih Bukhari. These books have a record of the life of Muhammad that are not in the Quran. That's what he was studying. And there's, you see all the volumes back there. It's a lot to read. I know, because I've read a lot of it. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the dead Muslim terrorist, knew the life of Muhammad. And so when he was decapitating people, ordering their decapitation, saying the prayers that Muhammad and his followers said before they decapitated innocent people, It was his scholarly studies that led him to do so. He was attempting, with scholastic precision, to imitate the founder of Islam, Muhammad. He was, in fact, imitating Muhammad. In his heart, in his soul, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the dead terrorist, asked this question over and over and over again. The question was, what example did Muhammad leave? What did Muhammad say that we should do? What would Muhammad do? That's what he was asking over and over and over. And that's what led him to be a brutal terrorist. He was imitating the founder of Islam with scholastic precision. So the Washington Post's ludicrous headline was in fact accurate. He was an austere religious scholar. And that's why he also was a brutal terrorist. The American government named this mission after a young woman who was taken hostage, made a sex slave, and then ultimately made a wife of Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. Because that's what Muhammad did. Muhammad had sex slaves. He then freed them and married them. This austere religious scholar imitating the life of the founder of Islam. That's what he was doing. So we can mock the Washington Post, as we should. But perhaps more importantly, we can learn from their accuracy. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the Islamic State, friends, listen to me, that is Islam as founded by Muhammad. They have no New Testament, okay? They don't have, well, you know, Muhammad was really radical and he killed a lot of people and he did have sex slaves and he did brutalize women and men, but no, we're going to change that. No, they don't have anything. Not that, by the way, the Old Testament was involved in criminal acts, or rather that the leaders under God's leadership were involved in criminal acts. They weren't. I'm referring to a question that a reporter once asked Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the basketball star who used to be called Lou Alcindor. In the 60s, he converted to Islam. So the reporter asked him, well, do you guys have a New Testament? And he was like, no. Caught him off guard. In other words, the brutality must continue because the brutality that Muhammad displayed is encased, enshrined in Sharia law. You kill apostates because that's what Muhammad said to do. That's what Abu Bakr did. And that's what Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi did. You kill someone who mocks Muhammad. You kill someone who does not convert to the faith of Islam when they've been given a chance to do so. You kill them. You behead them because that's the example left by Muhammad. That's what Muhammad did. So he, in fact, was a scholar and had a cursed life with a cursed example of the truth about Islam and Muhammad. So thank you, Washington Post, for confirming what some of us know, and that is that this austere religious scholar, the head of the Islamic State, did in fact represent true Islam. I'll be right back. Don't go away. I've got an offer for you. What Would Muhammad Do? Islamic Terrorism Explained is the best movie series documentary ever produced on the life of Muhammad and Islam. How do I know? Because it's what critics are saying. John Moore, radio host and author, said, I learned more from What Would Muhammad Do about Islam and Islamic terrorism than I've learned from everything I ever read and watched in my entire life. Best-selling author Dr. Bill Warner said, What Would Muhammad Do is the best movie series, TV production on the life of Muhammad and Islamic terrorism that has ever been produced. Friends, this is what the experts are saying. No one has ever done what we've done. I encourage you to get 1, 2, 4 copies. Call 304-289-3700. That's 304-289-3700, or order it at the address or the website that you see on the screen. Introducing Roxy Guitar. If you're a guitar or bass player, whether you play acoustic or electric, check out Roxy Guitar. I've been playing for over 40 years and seen guitar stores all over America. I've never seen a store like Roxy Guitar. Roxy Guitar has over 700 guitars in stock, over 1,500 pedals, over 200 amps. Let them know you heard about Roxy Guitar from Randall Terry and receive 10% or more off your purchase on select items. Go to roxyguitar.com. Friends, I hope that today's program has been a blessing for you. By the way, President Trump, hopefully we can talk more about this on my next show. President Trump went to Chicago, spoke to police, and the chief of police there was running his mouth against President Trump, didn't show up to the meeting to diss him. President Trump pummeled him, pointing out the fact that Chicago has the toughest gun laws in the country and the highest murder rate from gun violence in the country. And he basically said, how's that working out for you? And if I have to decide or choose sides between criminals and the American people, I'm going to come down on the side of the American people. I'm going to let law-abiding Americans have guns. So it was great. And Adam Schiff and Nancy Pelosi, they're continuing. I don't even want to go there. I want to finish up with Bakr al-Baghdadi. I have a master's degree from Norwich University in diplomacy with a concentration in international terrorism. The bulk of my research for my master's degree was in international terrorism, and most of that was on Islamic terrorism. Norwich University is one of the oldest, most prestigious universities, military schools in the country. All right, it's a very difficult curriculum. I spent thousands of hours researching the life of Muhammad, the first 4 caliphs, the successors of Muhammad, Islamic law, the Quran, the Hadith, and really the life of Muhammad. And Islamic terrorism today, the Muslim Brotherhood. I have the most comprehensive series on the Muslim Brotherhood ever done for television. I have a 20-part series called What Would Muhammad Do?, which is the fruit of thousands of hours. I have a 90-minute movie called Muhammad in His Own Words. We have some challenges before us financially right now. I'm going to make a special offer to all of my viewers. Go to randallterry.com or call 1-800-851-WORD, 1-800-851-WORD, and make a $50 contribution. And I will give you, as a thank you gift, the Muslim Brotherhood series, the What Will Muhammad Do series, the Muhammad in His Own Words, my movie on Norma McCorvey, the Jane Roe versus Wade called A Cold Day in Hell. And that's got specials on it. This is way over $50 worth of movies, friends. I'm going to give it all to you for $50. No shipping, no handling. We're just going to send it to you. So go to my website right now and order it, or call the number 877-851-WORD. That's 877-851-WORD. And if you cannot afford $50, say, Randall, I just don't have $50, but I've got 28 or 32. You tell the operator that I said you could have it for a gift of what you could afford. That's how important it is to me to get this information to you, so that you can know what Islam is really all about, and the fact that Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi was in fact an Islamic scholar. Don't put it off. We need your help, and you need this information. God bless you.